What's up YouTube? Jay Travellini here, and today I want to talk about how I go about building budget gaming PCs. A lot of people don't want to get in the gaming PC world and switch over from console or just getting into it at a younger age. The parents or the kids or adults don't have disposable income to go out and spend thousands of dollars on high-end gaming computers. So I'm going to talk about what I go through and what I look for used components just to get into the game at decent frame rates at 1080p. So here's one that I picked up. This I found on Facebook Marketplace from a local person. I also use eBay, and I use the app OfferUp, but I haven't had much success with people shipping, but you can always find a good deal on something local that you can go pick up. But this PC, I picked up local. We'll go through what it has in it. I'll take the side panel off, but I got this for a decent price, but it's not just buying ready to go. So this one I will need to do some upgrading, but actually very minimal upgrading. We'll go through that in a second. But use your local marketplaces, flea markets on Facebook and Facebook Marketplace. You can find yourself some good deals. The problem with right now is how inflated the prices are because of how hard they're becoming to get. So I see graphics cards like GTX 1060s, which is one of my favorite graphics cards to go to for budget builds, because I used to be able to get them for around $100. They were great 1080p graphics cards, but right now they're up in like the 150s. But so prices are a little bit inflated, but not too crazy. So let's get this side panel off. So inside this PC that I bought, it's not completely ready to go yet because it will need some upgrading, but I got lucky with this one. It needs very little. So usually when I buy a PC, I look for pretty much a motherboard, CPU, and RAM combo. I usually try to get an i5, usually 3570K or better, because they're still great gaming CPUs. I have done ones with i7 920s and overclocked them to about 3.8 to 4 gigahertz just to get them running in the games and running pretty smoothly, but that's tough because you need a lot of cooling. This one has a stock cooler on it. I would say the weakest point of this build right now, other than the graphics card, is the motherboard, which is an H81M E33, which is not too great of a motherboard. It takes away our overclocking capabilities. The only thing that's unlocked is the multiplier, but there's no power delivery changes that I can do. So I only get the multiplier. I think it's up to 41. Which I could theoretically get this processor up to 4.1 gigahertz if that's the case, but I'm not 100% sure on that. I have used this motherboard in the past, and I overclocked slightly, but it was not that good at it. This also came with 8 gigs of Ripjaw RAM that are up here. The with red ones, 8 gigabytes is enough to get you in games. I wouldn't go any lower than that. 4 gigabytes, you're going to run into a lot of bottlenecking. 16 gigabytes will be a lot better, obviously. But this one came with 8. And one thing it also came with is an SSD. It's only 120 gigabytes, but it's enough to keep our boot drive on to keep it booting fast, which is a nice plus. Usually on budget gaming PCs, you don't get SSDs, which is something you really don't want to skimp on. Another thing is it did come with a 500 watt power supply in it already, which is very nice because now when I do look to upgrade, I don't have to upgrade this power supply. I have done like Dell Optiplex builds where I had to upgrade the power supply to put it graphics card in. So this one came with a GT210, which is a very, very basic graphics card. It's pretty much just enough to put a display on your screen. This thing's not going to do any gaming, so that is the one part that I plan to upgrade in this build to make it a budget gaming PC. So far, I'm pretty ahead of the game. I paid about $150 for this, and it came just like this. One thing he did add is that I never added is this slot down here. This PCI slot actually gives me 2 more 3.0 USBs on the back, but it also has a 3.0 connector here to connect the front USB. So that's a pretty good deal to have. So I actually have USB 3.0 in the front. It's not a converter to 2.0, so I still get those faster speeds. You can see from the IO shield in the back, it's pretty basic on this. This was just the guy had it marketed as an office build, but I saw that it had an i5 4670K in it. It actually has a K chip in it, and I verified that it's a K chip by booting it up, going into Windows and checking. But it does have the K chip in it, so it does have the overclock potential if I were to swap out the motherboard. But to keep it budget friendly, I'm not going to do that. If I put a Z board in it, I could definitely overclock it and probably get up to 4.2 gigahertz and really have a nice PC. These 4670Ks are very nice processors for gaming now. Even the 4790K is probably one of the better processors for gaming still today. I see a lot of people overclock them and still run every game possible on it. But that's this PC right now. I'll get it upgraded. I'm going to look for a graphics card. I'm actually looking at getting a 1650 Super for it. So I'm hoping to get one for under $150. I know brand new I could get one for I think it's $165. So I'm looking a little used just to keep the price down. So I'm trying to keep this price of this PC under $300 and have it running in games. So once I get the graphics card in or find one, we'll install it. We'll get it running in some games. We'll see how it does. But for now, I mean, this is the start of how I do my budget gaming builds. Finding one that's put together already is always a plus. Or you can go to Optiplex way and just put a graphics card inside that case. The only problem with that is the airflow is not that great. And even in this build, you can see it actually has pretty good airflow. The front's all mesh. This case is the first time I've ever seen it in person used. The front's all mesh, and I can get two 140 or 120 millimeter fans in it, and one 120 millimeter fan in the back, which gives it actually pretty good airflow. And it also even has a mount for a top fan also. So I can even water cool with it looks like up to a 240 millimeter AIO in this. So I mean, this case for a basic budget build is actually a pretty decent case. It's the first time I've ever seen this Cooler Master case used. So for a budget build, I'd probably actually look at getting this case and buying this one to use. All right, thanks for watching this video. Make sure you smash that like button, hit that subscribe button, ring that bell icon. Thanks for checking out how I start my budget gaming PC builds. In the next video, hopefully I'll get the graphics card in real soon. We can get it upgraded and up and running. We can check it out in some games, so stay tuned for that video. Check out my other videos, and check out more budget gaming PCs and more stuff on my crypto mining rigs coming up real soon. All right, thanks for watching.